Coffee chat is one of those phrases I've heard countless times. People would casually mention it, and I just assumed it was, well, a chat over coffee. Simple, right? But as I spoke with more people, I realized that there was so much more to it. Naturally, I did what anyone would do when they don't know something. I asked ChatGPT. Coffee chat. A casual conversation, usually over coffee, to network or gain insights from someone's professional experience. Lately, I've started doing a lot more coffee chats myself, meeting people in different fields, taking in their advice, and honestly, just trying to figure out what I want my own path to look like. It's been really eye-opening, and I've come to appreciate how one simple conversation can open so many doors. You know, a coffee chat isn't really about the coffee at all. It's more so about connecting, learning things you don't get taught in school, hearing other stories, and gaining insights into different career journeys. So that got me thinking, what if we had our own little coffee chat? Just you and me. I thought I'd take a moment to share what my first 30 days as an intern have been like, including how it all started, what I've learned along the way, and what I'm most excited for moving forward. Alright, let's get down to business. As with any first conversation, or heck, even a first date, I think it's very important to start with some introductions. I'm currently studying engineering through a co-op program, and that means that I alternate between 4 months of co-op and 4 months of school on repeat for the next 5 years of my program. Currently, I'm interning in a technical artist role at a mobile gaming company. And in fact, here's a throwback to just before my interview this past September. Hi everyone, and I am about to start my first ever interview. I'm feeling very nervous. Right now I have Zoom set up. I'm gonna do some last minute prep. I have about 30 minutes remaining before it actually officially starts. I'm all dressed up. I'm feeling so nervous. I wish I had so much more time to just prepare even more, but I'm gonna hope for the best. Yeah, I'm gonna do some practicing, take some deep breaths, and then hope it goes well. So I'll see you post-interview. Looking back, it is pretty funny to see how scared and nervous I was, but spoiler alert, things did end up working out in the end, and I'm super happy that they did. A technical artist acts as a bridge between the creative and technical sides of game development. They work with artists to bring visuals to life through visual effects, animations, and 2D or 3D modeling, while also collaborating with engineers to ensure that everything functions smoothly. This can involve tasks like optimizing performance, creating tools, and troubleshooting bugs. For the longest time, I feel like I've been always tiptoeing this line between my passion for engineering and my more creative and artistic side. So this role really feels like the best of both worlds all at once. Like a lot of people, I grew up playing games, but I'd never actually been on the other side of that process until I made my very first game ever, Attack of Ares. Attack of Ares was the ultimate culminating project. I even considered it the final boss for one of my high school computer science classes. The prompt was pretty simple: create any space-themed game. So my friend and I decided to just dive right in, and we developed a 2D platformer game where you play as a prince, fighting different enemies and navigating these increasingly difficult levels to rescue your princess. We spent a solid month on it, coding, curating different Pinterest boards for inspiration, debating color schemes, and perfecting all the game mechanics and visuals. But it was definitely one of those trust the process situations, and despite all the stresses and doubts along the way, when we saw the final product, we couldn't feel happier or more proud. This project was my first real dive into the world of game development, and I'm so glad to say that it won't be my last. Fast forward to today, I'm 1 month into my internship, already a quarter of the way through, and just like that first project, time has flown by faster than I ever could have expected. Good morning. It is Monday, January 6th, and it is my first day. It's so much different from the first day of school because I feel like with school, you know what to expect. You know that everyone's kind of in the same boat as you. But here it's like I'm going into the workplace. I have like a manager who I'll need to report to, and I don't really know any of the other interns. It just feels more scary and more nerve-wracking. Now, the start of my internship was filled with a lot of learning moments. For context, I work hybrid, so I usually aim to be in the office in Toronto 3 days a week, and I work home for the rest. But before any of that, I had to tackle the very first challenge, which was setting up my workspace. Okay, right now we're going to be doing some unboxing. I received this package from my work, which has some equipment that I'll need. I don't know what exactly is in it, so we'll be finding out together. Another box in here. Wow, it's a Mac. This is crazy. I am super grateful right now. There's something surprisingly calming and even therapeutic about setting up a desk. I had some good music playing, I took my time, and I ended up spending, I'd say, a solid 2 hours getting everything just into place. Please go in. I need to press it. Oh, there we go. And honestly, people aren't kidding when they say that an organized workspace makes a huge difference. For me, my desk isn't just where I work. I like to think of it almost as a reflection of my mind. If it's cluttered with papers, gadgets, and random stuff lying everywhere, it usually means that my thoughts are just as scattered. So setting up my workspace wasn't just about making it look nice, it was also about creating a space that would help me stay focused, clear-headed, and ready to juggle everything between home and the office. I should be working right now, but there's not one squirrel, there's two of them. If I'm not hallucinating, there's a third one. Oh, I think we're housing a family of squirrels in my backyard right now. Hello. Hi. Oh, okay. Bye-bye. Working from home is one thing, but commuting, that is a whole different story. I hadn't really commuted much before this, so figuring out the train system was an entirely new experience for me as well. One thing I did quickly learn about myself is that I have a very bad habit of cutting things too close. There have been way too many times, an embarrassing amount of times, where I've been running late and I've been forced to practically sprint to catch my train. Regardless, although there were many mornings where I had to wake up at 6 a.m., I will admit that the silver lining was getting to see a lot of beautiful sunrises along the way. Alright, now that the intros are out of the way, it's time to get to the good stuff. The meat and potatoes of a coffee chat. The part where the conversation shifts from getting to know each other to getting into the real questions, where you ask the person across from you about the lessons they've learned and the advice worth noting. So why don't we jump into some of mine? But first, hi everyone, it is another day. We are going to be exploring Toronto today. I think what's really nice about co-op is that in contrast to school where after classes are done, you have to go back and then you know that you have different assignments and homework to complete. After your 9 to 5, you have the rest of your evenings free, you have your weekends free, and there's no assignments or exams or tests looming at the back of your mind. I really want to take advantage of that, and today we are going to be exploring more of downtown. One of the biggest lessons I've learned during my internship so far is the importance of being proactive. There were times where I actively sought out tasks and opportunities to contribute. At first, I felt really hesitant. I was too scared to speak up or ask for work. I'd often find myself just huddled at my desk, waiting for someone to give me direction. But then, a teammate shared some really valuable advice that shifted my perspective. He told me to essentially take advantage of this opportunity to learn things that aren't taught in school. Whether that meant diving into the details of writing PRs, getting a behind-the-scenes look at game development, or even asking to help with tasks that would push me out of my comfort zone, I really started to see the value in pursuing experiences that I couldn't simply learn from a textbook. So I started challenging myself to build features from the game from scratch. I asked if I could take on bugs independently, and I started diving into Unity, our game engine, to see if I could break down and reassemble parts of the game on my own. That proactive approach not only built my confidence, but it also gave me hands-on experience. My biggest takeaway is to not wait for things to happen and instead take initiative. Never be afraid to ask questions along the way too. What I realize is that everyone around me, no matter their role, is genuinely there to support you, and 4 months may seem like a lot of time, but in the grand scheme of things, it's actually only a blink. So make the most out of it and use every chance to learn and grow your skills. Along with being proactive, asking questions is a huge must. But here's the catch. Not just any questions, but the right ones. I remember wanting to set up a one-on-one chat with a UX designer on my team. UI, UX, which is user interface and user experience, it's always intrigued me, so I thought that this was the perfect chance to learn and hear someone's story, especially because this is a role I might want to explore in future co-ops. When I mentioned wanting to understand the design process for the game my team works on, the designer hit me with a question I wasn't expecting. It was a simple one though. They asked me which part of the process, pre-production like ideation and identifying a problem space, or post-production, or even the implementation. That's when I realized just how broad my question was. It got me thinking, asking the right questions is key. Not only does it help you pinpoint and get the exact information you need and want, but it also teaches you the language of the field and that others around you use. Understanding that asking the right questions is just as important as asking questions in of itself was a real game changer for me. I met another intern who, by the way, is honestly one of the coolest people ever, and she introduced me to the concept of OKRs, objectives and key results. It's a goal-setting framework where you break down what you want to achieve, that is your objective, and then you also set measurable actions, your key results that show or indicate to you if you've actually reached said goal. Before your internship even starts, it's super helpful to think about what you're interested in, what areas you want to grow in, whether that be technically or professionally, and identify those goals ahead of time. That way, when you meet with your manager or even your mentor, you can be proactive and share those goals to ensure you're getting the most out of your time. In my first week, I made a document with 3 goals I had. For each one, I would list key results. Those are things that I could look at and measure to see if I actually hit that goal. For example, one objective I wrote was to build a strong foundation in visual effects and technical art skills. So my first key result was to implement 2 new VFX features, for example, a sparkle or a glow in our game. And I could do that by learning animation systems or software like Dutine or Spine. Another key result I jotted down for that goal was to write 1 piece of code or a script for a tool that could help improve developer efficiencies on our team. As we wrap up our little coffee chat, I've noticed that most of the conversations I've had with others typically end with a simple question to the other person. What's next? Funny enough, it's not often I find myself wishing time would slow down, but right now, I wish it would. I'm not sure what the next 3 months will bring, but my hope is that they're filled with learning, meeting new people, and embracing where the journey takes me.